everything ship shape in your in the Sugar House bunker there?
Sosala, if you will.
The Sosala bunker.
I'm just outside of the city limits proper, so I can go anywhere I want.
A bigger question: you're not you haven't been run over by those teens protesting and saying all sorts of dirty things, if you will.
What? What was going on?
Oh, there might have been something going on where people got a little upset and, some spray painting and some vandalism got involved.
Huh. I'll have to check my DVR for live PD, see what I missed.
Oh, that's right. We don't deal with live TV anymore. I forget. That's a streaming household you're in.
Yeah, welcome to TV Tan Podcast, episode 0321, I think. I don't know. We were off last week. All the days are the same.
Yeah, no, you are absolutely right, sir. 321 episodes that people get to listen about the TV Tan Podcast with me. I'm Tommy Milagro.
And I'm Bill Frost. And joining us is returning champion Vanessa. You there, right?
I'm here.
Okay.
Yes, I'm here. In my Sosala hippie bunker underground.
Much like me, yes.
Yeah. Quarantine. I'm high risk, so I really haven't been going much of anywhere. I branched out today and went to Trader Joe's for the first time in like 2 months.
How was that?
You brave soul.
It was a little terrifying, actually. I was kind of shaky, but I made it through. I got my sparkling coconut water with yuzu.
Wow.
Japanese citrus fruit. And my hyaluronic acid for my old ass face.
Okay.
Because even though I'm in a bunker underground, I still think I have to do these things. So we're doing these things. Yeah.
Good for you. Okay. Yeah, That
is a treasure right there.
I've been out Actually, no, I haven't been out at all, except for one trip to the bike shop to get the bike fixed up, and that was weird.
Oh, yeah, I saw you went on a ride the other day.
Yeah, that ride made
social media.
Been on a ride a couple times, and those rides made me realize, this bike needs a fucking tune-up now. So I took it in, and, I was the only... Well, me and one other guy were wearing masks in there, so...
Oh, my gosh.
That's kind of the way it is everywhere.
That was the thing. There weren't a whole lot of people wearing masks in the Trader Joe's.
Am I the only one that looks at the maskless people and go, okay, you're gonna die, you're gonna die, you're gonna die. Sorry, you're gonna die.
I'm gonna die. That's what I think. I saw Tommy. I went on the internet and I saw a link for the mask that you got. Your Lucha Libre mask. And I went to your page and I went to post it and like 4 people had already posted it for you. I'm like, he's going to order that. He's totally going to order that. And then like within a couple days I saw that you had gotten the coolest mask of your Lucha Libre. That was pretty awesome.
Don't worry, we'll cover that during the sports report here. But I'm glad that my fashion sense is carrying on its way. And let's be honest, the only reason I got that is because my Immortan Joe mask downtown, that gets a little sweaty after a while, So I got to be a little bit reasonable.
Mm-hmm. And you don't want to suffocate yourself with CO2 poisoning,
I know. I got to deal with alcohol poisoning. I'm working hard on that one.
You can't win.
Okay, so what are you drinking? What is helping you?
Oh yeah, who are we drinking?
Go to next?
Who are we drinking this week?
Who's drinking what?
For that segue, Vanessa and Bill. So first of all,
that was my job, and I blew it.
Yeah, I just saw the opportunity.
Good for you, because I didn't do it.
Well, to answer everyone's questions there, because TV Tan Podcast is responsible here for sponsoring some fine people like Sugar House Distillery's Gold Rum, which you can still pick up at their distillery in Sosala. And also, you can even pick up some hand sanitizer there along the way. So, great opportunity to fraternize local businesses there, if you will.
Yeah, I've got the straight-up Sugar House vodka. We've started buying them in handles now. Just,
Oh.
When the thing is, the giant jug of Sugar House Distillery vodka doesn't actually have a handle on it, so I don't know if you can call it a handle, but it's supersized.
Seriously, you can use it for cleaning, for like sanitizing. That's the word. Sanitizing everything.
Sure, yeah.
That's what that's like.
Yeah, we do have some hand sanitizer here, and I swear to God, it's just like spraying vodka on your hand. So
it is. Oh, and then you find the cat scratch that you didn't know you had.
Yes.
It's a nightmare.
That says a lot about you, Vanessa. So care to share more about some Tiger King episodes at your house?
Oh yeah, definitely have. I watched it twice, you guys.
Really? Okay.
I did. Whoa. And because like the first time that I watched it through, I knew that I missed some crazy ass shit because like my mind was like stuck on the first crazy ass shit and then more, and it was just more and more. So it was like through the second viewing, I finally saw the zookeeper, one of the main zookeepers was like holding a thing of gasoline while smoking a cigarette, the most like Florida thing that you could ever possibly see while taking care of alligators. And I didn't see that. Like that, I missed that because I was shocked about the other things that previously happened.
Wow. Okay.
So I did. I actually watched it twice.
Maybe I should do that.
It's just what quarantine does. It makes you watch it twice.
So my question.
I'm guessing you've been
Vanessa,
in.
Sorry.
Well, no, I'm guessing you've been in lockdown since that premiered, which seems like 4 years ago, but it was actually only a few months ago. And and so you've probably watched. I don't know. Are you kind of a person who just watches a lot of TV, or you do things like read books and shit like that?
We have discussed this. So I grew up in an abusive childhood, and so I was raised mostly like more neglect. So I was raised mostly by TV, and that is like my comfort thing. And I'm a very introverted person. I know I don't seem like it from like the people who talk to me or get to know me. I'm kind of out there, but like I like to be home, and so if I'm home, it's really hard to get me to leave. So I have been watching TV. I actually prepared today before we talked. When I got home from my Trader Joe's trip, I wrote down a lot of the TV, at least some that I could remember that I've been watching, so that I could even like remember to discuss it with you, because there's been so much TV has happened in the last like 3 months.
And this is why you're here.
This is why I'm here, is to discuss TV. Yes.
And
it's a good thing that we should get the chance to discuss TV rather than go down the Tiger Exotic hole that you've been doing twice.
No, and that was really sad, and I know I spent a lot of energy on that, and I really wish I hadn't, but culturally you had to be there, I guess.
Yes.
But so lots of Netflix. What else is on Netflix here? I have it written down. Well, I watched The Best in Bloom with the co-host Natasha Dimitriou. She is also on What We Do in the Shadows. She's Nadia.
Oh,
Nadia, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, she is on this show, and I don't know if you guys, have you heard of this?
Don't know. No, what is it?
Okay, so Best in Bloom, low stakes reality TV show competition. Adorable host, a judge who is like, his name is Kristen, but I can't remember his last name because he has like 4 last names.
Of course.
Oh, God.
Yeah, he's this beautiful man from New York. Just like one of these people that you're like, how do you exist? How do you get to be like a famous florist? Like, okay, that happens. And then he gets a TV show on Netflix. So it's a competition show, and they have to create these giant sculptures out of plants.
Of course. Okay.
Out of plants. And then they get judged by these beautiful people, and Natasha Dimitriou is adorable.
Yeah.
She's hilarious, and she's just like really funny. And so competition, and then they win the prize, and they get to like create a sculpture for a premier New York building, whatever. But it's very wholesome, and that's the kind of content I've been seeking out lately.
Okay.
Because I haven't even been watching I have been watching Housewives because I can't help it. But I haven't been enjoying it as much. I'm like doing other things while it's on, and I'm barely paying attention.
Well, how are they
But,
gonna throw White Claws at each other through Zoom? I don't see how that's gonna work.
Well, it was interesting. I just saw the RuPaul Drag Race finale.
They had to Zoom it, right?
And they had to Zoom it. And, it was interesting. Is RuPaul, she was wearing a mask, like a Lucha Libre mask. And I think it's because she doesn't have her crew to do the full-on RuPaul drag. So
Right.
it's very interesting.
Okay.
And, and like the Zoom competition, I don't know. I hope that this isn't TV for a while going forward because it was Brady Bunch, like the whole
I know
Brady Bunch
I
stars.
have those work meetings every week.
Yeah,
Damn.
I know. You guys get to work. I'm still not working. Hiding in my hippie bunker still.
Okay, that could be
so that show was
that could
called
be the title of the episode, Hiding in the Hippie Bunker.
Write it down.
Yeah, so that show was called Best in Bloom. Was that right?
Best in Bloom, and all of the first season is on Netflix. I think it's like 10 episodes.
Okay.
And they range from like 30 to 45 minutes.
All right.
It's very adorable. Watch it while you're like doing your thing with your sourdough starter or whatever it is. Whatever project it is that you're doing, it's good to have on in the background.
Okay.
But I also watched Miss America.
Oh,
have you guys watched it?
I watched the whole thing.
Oh, is
yes.
this Mrs. America or?
Oh, Mrs. America.
The Phyllis Schlafly story. Yes.
Yeah. That was really good.
Were you surprised they almost made her a sympathetic character?
I really liked the way that they portrayed her. And Kate Blanchett, I mean, come on, like how, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch her. I will watch her on Zoom. That's what will happen. I'll watch Kate Blanchett on Zoom and I won't complain about it. But
well, she had her Blanchettiest at that point, or?
She was pretty drama. It was her Southern accent drama that she does, but she's just so beautiful and she's so good at what she does, and her micro expressions of rage are just intense and fun to watch. So Mrs. America is definitely worth watching.
Ladriel goes feminist.
Yeah,
awesome.
and now the season is over, so all of it is on Hulu. If you haven't watched it yet, you can totally binge all of it.
Yeah, fortunately it ended right when we hit the Reagan era.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It was kind of, it's intense. So that's an intense one. Another intense one was Little Fires Everywhere.
I have not delved into that one.
Reese Witherspoon being her Karenist of Karens. She is like queen. She's Queen Karen, if there ever was, and it's very good. I haven't read the book, but I know a lot of people who have and liked the adaptation. So it was good. I don't know. It kind of took me a while to get into, but it was all right.
Yeah, there was one I wanted to ask you about if you watched it, the Making the Cut.
Oh yes, I did watch that. Yeah, I did. It was good.
It looked expensive.
It was. Oh my gosh, they got $1 million.
Yeah.
At the end, the winner got $1 million, and it was nice to see, like the creation reality show competition that wasn't part of the ridiculous. Like they are making real fashion clothes and doing really, like actually making fashion. It was really cool. It was really cool to see, and they weren't making clothes out of like seaweed or like
yes.
that kind of terrible things that they do sometimes on Project Runway. And it was great to have that energy of Tim Gunn and Heidi Klum again, because they're just so cute. They are so cute together. They really are.
There seems to be so many words that Heidi Klum is not familiar with.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, I mean, she spent some time with Seal, so some of the words get lost in translation. Also, she's German.
Oh, Seal.
But $1 million, yeah, and that's on Amazon Prime.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What's is there something in your watch list you thought to yourself, I would probably never have watched this unless I was stuck at home, and here I am?
Here we are.
Actually, I I watched an episode of The Last Dance, I watched that with my partner, and that is a documentary, series documentary on Michael Jordan.
Okay.
And done really well. And I didn't think that I would watch that, but I watched an episode of it, and it was really interesting. They talk about was it 1996 finals with the Bulls and the Utah Jazz?
Somewhere in the late 90s, yeah.
Yeah, late 90s, like 90s. It was when I lived out here in Salt Lake, and it was like right after I moved here, and I just saw Jazz flags everywhere.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was like the weirdest thing, that everyone had them everywhere.
And you were thinking, they're really into music here.
Yeah.
What the hell is this? That was really good. I watched the Space Force episode, the first episode, the other day. Did you watch it?
I watched the whole thing through. Starts strong, gets a little soft in the middle, finishes okay. But
I just watched the first one, but I'm happy to see Steve Carell again. I
agree. I watched it from start to end. I will say two things. Steve Carell can really do no wrong and proves he doesn't need Ricky Gervais. But most important, and I think it cannot be understated, John Malkovich is a goddamn treasure.
He's the best. He's the best part.
He is so good. He is so good. And he is always so funny because he does serious, really, really funny.
Yes.
And it's nice to see him, too. It's really nice to see him and all of his beautiful skill. He's so funny. I love that. He does deadpan like nobody's business. What is his name in this?
Adrian Mallory.
Adrian Mallory. That's right. You said his name, I was like,
it's such a twee name. It's perfect.
But the most understated acting job of all time, not just the actor that plays Fuck Tony.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Ben Schwartz.
But Jimmy Wang, who plays Dr. Chan.
Jimmy O Yang, yes.
He has a special on Amazon Prime. I know it's in my queue, and I'm going to watch it.
You haven't seen that yet.
Yeah. Well, and everybody that thought, he's just that guy from Silicon Valley, he was there. My God, that guy has shown he can really fucking carry.
Yeah, he's hilarious. Absolutely.
Well, I do have one for you also for our one of our dozen listeners, Melissa Merlot. I think she's out there. On Tuesday, we have the second season of Dirty John premiering on USA.
Dirty John. God.
Based on the True Crime
really
podcast.
Hard to get me to watch that. I have nothing but advertising coming from that show. I must be the demographic because I see it on everything.
Yeah, based on a true story of an epic marriage and divorce that went down. It says here Oprah called it one of America's messiest divorces, and that's even before it ended in a double homicide.
Oh my God!
Yeah, so this thing's got drama out the ass, and
and it's Amanda
Pete,
Crazy Face Pete. Yeah, she can do some crazy eyes.
And Christian Slater.
And he, yeah.
Oh,
crazy eyes abound. I'm down. Okay, I'll touch that.
Yeah.
Oh,
and I'm in the middle of cranking out my thing for Slug for the month, even though I'm already over deadline, but who cares? It's Slug.
Is that how much you think of the staff right now? Or?
Well, no, they're fine. It's Slug. It's very loose. It's not like this is a real publication we're talking about here. But I've gathered up a whole lot of about 9 shows from the. Most of these were released during the time of lockdown. And I'm thinking some people might have missed them. One of them,
if they're on my list earlier.
One of them is The Midnight Gospel on Netflix.
Oh yeah.
It's it takes these podcast episodes of Duncan Trussell and it matches them up with this acid trip animation from the guy who did Adventure Time, and it's just it just creates these stories of traveling through the multiverse while he's talking with people like Dr. Drew and a but they're characters in the cartoon, and it's just bizarre as hell.
And the color palette is extremely obnoxious.
It's every color at once.
It is every color ever in your eyeball all at once.
So my question is,
you can taste it.
Yes.
That's how colorful it
Yes.
is.
Okay, so I was going to ask on a scale of 1 to Legion how much drugs I should be taking, but you just answered it, Vanessa.
Yeah, when you can taste the color,
Yeah.
that's when you should stop.
Yeah, it's takes on some very deep conversations, but also the animation is just over the top, and you'd think it would be confusing to watch with all that going on, but it's actually it's kind of pleasant.
I love it.
Yeah. I used to remember watching heavy metal, and I used to think to myself, that is quite the acid trip. But what you're describing to me, no, this is where they go, here, let's really dope up the LSD to 11.
Another one here on the list is The Dress Up Gang. It's on TBS On Demand. It's from a sketch comedy duo, basically about a pair of LA roommates, and it's just it's somewhat Tim and Eric, but on a much lower key, and it's really strange and really funny, and a little squirmy at times too.
Just to clarify, when you say Tim and Eric, like on a low scale, what is considered low scale for Tim and Eric?
It's just very subtle. Tim and Eric aren't
Is there
very...
a lot less vomit?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Definitely.
And
that.
random screaming. The Tim and Eric random screaming was
Yes.
okay.
It's a very subtle take on Tim and Eric. Another one another one is one we've talked about on the show here before. Penny Dreadful City of Angels on Showtime.
Oh, excuse me. You mean Pendejo Dreadful?
As our friend Gustavo refers to it, yeah, because it's set in around 1938 Los Angeles. It involves some crime noir. It's also got some Mexican-American folklore. It's also got Nazis. It's also got televangelism. And it has a killer performance by Natalie Dormer, playing at least 3 or 4 different roles as a shape-shifting demon named Magda, who's here to...
she's amazing.
She's here to fuck things up.
Yeah.
And I can't say it's making a lot of sense so far, but it looks fantastic. And
it going to go on
like
the Legion scale.
Yeah, well, probably until you can feel the air, then you should stop with watching Penny Dreadful.
Yeah.
Yeah, but until she overacts like Tatiana Maslany, yeah, she hasn't cracked all the characters to play.
Yeah, Tatiana Maslany played at least 8 to 9 different characters in Orphan Black. Natalie Dormer's only doing 4 here, so catch up.
Yeah, and somewhere Tatiana's going amateur.
And two more from the list. One of them is on Amazon Prime Video. It's an import. It's called Fortitude. It's sort of a crime mystery set in Norway, in a small town in Norway.
Ooh.
And
I bet it's beautiful.
It's beautiful cinematography, and there's
I'll watch it just for that.
There's some weird shit going down. It's called Fortitude. It's from a few years ago. It's filmed mostly in Iceland, but it's set in Norway, and it's bizarre. And I'd like at least the first season is pretty much flawless. It kind of loses it in the next couple seasons, but the first season is damn near perfect.
Now, which of the streaming is that on?
That is on Prime Video.
Prime, okay. All right, I wrote it down on my list.
And one more is one that just started last week, Barkskins on National Geographic.
I have that on my list.
It's a period drama.
The ad for that.
Period dramas aren't my thing, but I'm into this.
Period dramas are very much my thing. I will totally watch this.
Yeah, mostly because of David Thewlis, who's in Fargo, and he just makes and Wonder Woman. He just makes a great villain.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Okay, I'm down. Yeah, I saw the ad for. It looks very beardy. It was very talky. It was very dark. I'm totally down to watch this one, and it's it's on National Geographic.
Yeah.
Like, when did they start making what?
When did they start making scripted dramas?
Do they make scripted dramas? Is this because this feels like news to me?
I don't know if they've done one before. This could be their first. But the History Channel's been doing these forever now, like with Vikings and Project Blue Book.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, History.
So it's just following that template there. But yeah, it's especially I read an interview with one of the producers of this show, and the costume designer they hired just said, fuck it, I'm starting from scratch. I'm not buying anything from the places everybody else buys for. And so she created this entire aesthetic for the show that is...
Oh, I love stuff like that.
That is genuine to the show. You can't get this stuff. It's all custom. It's not like you went down to the costume shop and bought it off the rack.
Totally. Oh, I'm going to watch that. I've been watching Belgravia. Since you're not into period dramas, you probably haven't seen that.
I've heard of that. I think Rachel told us about it a few weeks ago. She said it was on Epix.
It's on, yes, it's on, I think it's a PBS Masterpiece series, or it was produced by Masterpiece series. But,
hoity-toity is what you're trying to say.
Yeah. It's, I think, is it the same writer? I'm not sure, of Downton Abbey, but it's very that.
Okay.
And it's from, like, World War I era, and it's all about, same kind of thing.
Okay.
It's very period drama. It's beautiful. It's amazing to watch. Very talky and close and all of that stuff. And so it's kind of fun to watch if you really like ASMR type, want to pay attention.
Oh, okay.
Sort of things.
What is what is the dumbest thing you've watched in the last couple of months?
Well, besides Tiger King, probably I got really into 90 Day Fiance, which I've even watched, this whole phenomenon that we have as a culture of watching people watch things.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a new thing now. So TLC airs the episodes like in full. And dude, these have been like 2 hours long and I've been sticking in there because what else do I have to do? So I'm like folding laundry and watching 90 Day Fiance and this, like all of these people's lives just like crumbling. It's
okay.
For 2 hours. It's very intense. So that's probably like the dumbest thing that I have watched is that for sure. But I was going to ask you, what is, since you mentioned Fargo, the actor in Fargo, what help me? What wasn't it supposed to be released in April?
Actually,
season 4.
Season 4 is this whole thing hit before they could finish filming the last 2 episodes.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Oh no!
So it's just kind of on hold.
Yeah, and
because
you all have to sacrifice.
You can't do a Zoom Fargo.
No.
You just can't do Zoom Fargo. You can't. It's just too hard. That's so sad.
Yeah.
And especially since it's a period piece and it had probably, from what I've heard, best performance from Chris Rock. Yeah, kind of tricky.
It's killing me because that's like my show that's like my as murdery as it is. One of my comfort shows.
Yes.
And I'm always so happy when like Hulu lets it free and I get to see it again.
Yes.
And now it's on there, all the seasons.
Yeah,
so I was so excited.
They did not get to finish filming the last couple of episodes. The same thing happened with Supernatural in its final season and a few other shows. It was like they're just kind of hanging out there. They didn't get to finish them.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad, as sad as it is, I'm glad people are being safe and taking care of their families and being with one another and all of that.
Yeah, speaking of
correction. Smart people are being safe.
There you go.
Speaking of not being safe, what's happening in wrestling, Tommy?
Oh, is that's quite a ham-handed segue? Are you saying it's time?
It was mine.
In that case, hit the music, sir.
It's sports with Tommy Milagro. Go team.
From the sports desk of the TV 10 podcast, we deliver to you only the sport of professional wrestling. I Can't Breathe edition. So, and if everyone's going, oh, that's a little dark. Really? After the whole Kobe Bryant thing, this is dark? Anyway, there's a lot of things to cover here. I'm going to touch on just 3 things here. First of all being NWA Power, which you could catch on YouTube. They are not not been showing any wrestling matches, obviously, for reasons that don't need to be explained. If you're out of your hippie hut, but it should be noted that they decided. Well, first of all, there's two things. So the president, Billy Corgan, excuse me, William Patrick Corgan, and his partner Dave Lagana said that they were supposed to have Crockett Cup in April, but that had to be closed down, and they've mentioned before they had to take a bath on that in the tune of $500,000. But they are still trying to create content and still trying to get their fan base engaged, which is why on YouTube you can check out NWA's Carneyland. And Carneyland is basically, it's kind of an inside pro wrestler thing where basically, because pro wrestling has had its history in the carnivals of yesteryear, but this is where the wrestlers kind of talk Kizarny, as they would say. But it's interesting because they have all different episodes Monday through Friday. Some are trying to find their feet, like the world's heavyweight champion Nick Aldis, the national treasure, with his show, What's Causing All This? Huh? You see what I see what they did? You see it? He even says, look, it's a little bit rough there, mate, and I'm trying to find my feet. I'm not a broadcaster, but just stick with us.
I love it.
But then there's some other great ones, like Inside the NWA, where they interview people like not just Billy Corgan, but also some of the wrestlers. Like recently, they had Eddie Kingston and Homicide. That was quite the journey down there. I'll tell you that. But the best one by far, and this is how I'm going to segue things, was on Friday. There is an episode on NWA's YouTube channel called Girl Power, but here's where it's really good because it's good in an unfortunate way, but it's a good topic, is because it talks about your host Allison Kay along with other wrestlers like Thunder Rosa, talking about what it's like to be a woman in the sport of professional wrestling. But also they discuss the unfortunate suicide of pro wrestler Hana Kimura, who was cyberbullied to suicide. All of that was because of her involvement in a reality show in Japan. So the big takeaways from it are, number one, cyberbullying is wrong, but they say it much more eloquently, and this is the opinion of the sports desk, reality shows are bad because they lead to cyberbullying. So everyone out there, stop it. Just stop it.
Just stop it. Just like hang in the hippie hut and be cool, man.
You are the demographic for that, Vanessa. That is your recommend suite.
I'm down. Tell me again.
All right.
I can find it. Tell me again.
You subscribe to NWA on YouTube. And that's where you can, and just look for episodes of Girl Power, which is, and they only have one episode, but definitely you could catch up on that and other things of that like. Highly recommend. AEW, All Elite Wrestling, recently had their pay-per-view, Double or Nothing, over in Jacksonville, Florida, because Florida is deemed wrestlers as essential workers. Again,
how very Florida.
How $1 million, huh?
How very Florida.
Well, no. How very McMahon. Because, $1 million towards your Republican campaign funds will go a long way. But two things of note. Some of the wrestlers that were meant to be on the show could not make it, such as Britt Baker. She got injured during an episode of AEW Dynamite. But she is scheduled to return to the ring.
I saw that.
Their next
I saw that. I'm thinking, wait, that looks real. That looks like she's really injured.
What happened?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what her injury was?
Yeah, what was it?
Up real big, but long story short, it's knee injury. Not quite ACL or MCL, but enough that's going to sideline her. However, she is going to be scheduled to be in the ring for AEW's All Out pay-per-view, which will be September 5th. But the big takeaway was their Stadium Stampede main event, where it had the wrestlers from the Elite versus Chris Jericho's Inner Circle fighting everywhere in Jacksonville Stadium, which is probably the first time that Jacksonville has ever really been noticed, but I digress. You can catch up on that and all the matches. You can still get it on the Bleacher Report Live's website if you subscribe for only $49.99.
Not a sponsor.
That's all right. Drink up, bitches. But the final story here, well, and this is, there's two final stories. We're going to actually delve into something that involves real sports.
Huh?
Over the weekend, because everyone's not just pandemicing panic, but they're also, not feeling comfortable breathing, especially if you're around Minnesota cops. There was an opinion piece on ESPN, and the writer of the opinion piece, who used to be an NFL spokesman, Joe Lockhart, recommended that, hey, Minnesota, maybe now's a good time to maybe hire Colin Kaepernick, who, as we all know, has been out of an NFL job for a while. Because, he took a knee because of the right reasons, because police brutality, because of what we all dealt with here across the country. And according to Bleacher Report, the statement from the NFL says, from NFL spokesman Brian McCarthy, quote, Colin is a free agent. Clubs may sign him if they choose to do so. So, ball's in your court, NFL, literally and figuratively.
Mm-hmm.
But finally this, and we turn to WWE, and this is how I tie everything in, because the sports report is all about quality.
The rich tapestry of the sports report.
Yes. You won't find this on very important sports, I'll tell you that. Titus O'Neil, he is one of the WWE's stalwart employees there. He has done everything that can be asked of. Recently was featured in an ESPN article, and he was a finalist for the 2020 Muhammad Ali Sports Humanitarian Award. He says in this article, quote, it should not fall on minorities who lead discussions on racism in America, but he is calling on all people from all races to take a vested interest in eradicating racism. He also believes people must be, quote, willing to be uncomfortable to have discussions that will bring about positive change. So he had a Instagram Live conversation with actor and former WWE star Dave Bautista. That's right. Drax.
Oh, wow. Right on.
Police Chief Brian Dugan and Hillsborough County Sheriff Chad Cronister to discuss the death of George Floyd. But the best, and he kind of goes into detail on this, but he goes, the reality of it is, it shouldn't be on the minorities to lead this discussion, said O'Neil, who credits attending a sheriff's youth ranch camp as a troubled teenager for reshaping the course of his life. Quote, when we talk about America being the greatest country in the world, we need to start by learning how to become the greatest people in the world. When you have stuff like this and many other issues that are systemic and institutional, it is very hard to have faith in the system because the losses are far greater than the victories. And in this case, we're hoping and praying and rooting for the justice system to serve. Just give us at least one. Let's start with one victory here. But people from all races have their responsibility to help make this country better and to help eradicate. It's not all on my back. So, and when he talks about uncomfortable conversations, and I just did a little tweet here with that story to one of our other favorites, W. Kamau Bell, of United Shades of America. AW, I have got a great, uncomfortable conversation. This is the man you should talk to. Because he listens to this podcast.
Oh, yeah. Big fan.
So, oh, yeah. So with that said, America. Oh, excuse me. Let me channel my inner Bernie Mac here. America, it's time to have a little bit of a good conversation. It's going to get uncomfortable, even though hearing it from the sports. Please, America, let's just try to make things a little bit better. It's not on all of us. And it's definitely not on the sports. But please, it's up to you. I'm pointing to you, America, to make it better. Because it's not just about sports.
It's sports at Tommy Milagro. Go team!
I felt like Bernie Mac was right here.
Oh, his spirit invigorated. Of course, I ain't scared of you, motherfuckers.
Yeah, in some other sporting news, for the job, not Slug, but the real job that I covered TV for. Last night I was watching.
What is it you do? You do a what?
The Jorb, yeah. And
okay.
I tuned into some UFC action last night to see how they're doing the live shows, and they're doing it a lot like the pro wrestling's doing. It's no audience, just a lot of essential crew around, and you can't really notice it as much as you can with wrestling because they have the steel cage up, so you can't really notice that there's not really much of an audience there.
Yeah.
And they're pulling it off. They're doing it in remote locations, and we're still waiting for Dana White to build that Fight Island. He said he was going to buy an island and just create Fight Island, which sounds like also a good reality show, I think.
It does. Yeah, there's a lot of content there.
Yes.
It's all about the content. So.
Well, the problem with that with Dana White is it's not really original. I already saw a documentary about a Fight Island. Everyone knows it. It's called Enter the Dragon. All right? So don't channel Han here, okay, Dana? Just chill the fuck out. Go to Florida, you hippie. Excuse me, yippie.
Yeah. And so I checked that out, and I'm weird about sports. The only sports I really will pay attention to on TV are, of course, pro wrestling, MMA, and hockey.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing that involves a ball. So that's
all like a lot of aggression. That's a lot of aggressive sports.
Yeah. Well, you know me. I'm all about aggression.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. What is this hockey you speak of?
It's a thing they used to play on ice.
Oh! You're talking Canada sausage. Okay.
Yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing that happens between zambonis.
Okay. No, you mean Canada's tanks.
Yes.
Just call it for what it is, sir.
Yes, exactly. So, Vanessa, what are your plans for this week? You're probably not leaving the house again after that Trader Joe's ordeal.
I'm not leaving the house again. No, I'm not leaving the house for a while. I don't really have plans. I'm kind of redoing. My partner and I are redoing our backyard.
Oh.
So I'll probably work on that in like the evening and watch all these shows that you told me to watch during the day because it's too hot to go outside and do anything already.
True.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't really have a whole lot going on right now.
Actually, if I may interject for a minute here, I'm assuming, Vanessa, you have Hulu in the hippie bunker, right?
I do. Yeah, I have all the things. The things.
Then I highly recommend, because I just finished this up recently, watch Solar Opposite.
Oh, shit.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That is Rick and Morty, creators of Rick and Morty,
yes.
right?
Yeah. It's pretty funny. It's definitely not as filled as existential stress as
I'm the one hitting the gold rum.
Existential dread is the phrase I was looking for.
Dread. Dread.
It has a lot less of that.
All right.
It's a lot lighter than Rick and Morty.
Good. That's good. There's a lot of screaming with Rick and Morty too. I think that's like anime's influence on America cartoons. There is a lot of screaming now. A lot.
So much screaming.
So much
screaming.
Yeah, my daughter, she's really into My Hero Academia, and that's just like, it's nothing but screaming.
Yeah. And I'm thinking about what I'm going to be watching as soon as I get done putting this thing together. Killing Eve. Did we ever talk about Killing Eve before?
I don't think so.
We kind of mentioned it in passing, but
I think it's
not
a
with,
show you would definitely like to check out, Vanessa. It's
Yeah.
first of all, it's got killer music. That's the one thing I always, whenever I see these glowing reviews about Killing Eve, it talks about everything, but it never really mentions the music, and it's got one of the best soundtracks on TV.
Is it like composed, or is it like a bunch of different artists?
It's oddball choices in pop songs.
Oh, I love that.
They're
That's
almost-
like something that I love about Fargo too, is that the music becomes a very ominous character about the whole thing.
Yeah, that's the songs they use in Killing Eve are almost exclusively European pop obscurities, and so you're doing a lot of Shazamming.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay, I'm totally down. Killing Eve. Where is...
The first couple of seasons are on.
Which stream might I find that?
The first couple of seasons are on Hulu.
Oh, great. We're doing a lot of Hulu shows.
Yeah, well, Hulu's stepping up.
It really is. Yeah, the Mrs. America show was filmed beautifully.
Oh, yeah.
It's great to look at, and like the authenticity of it is pretty spot on.
Oh, yeah. 70s
yeah,
rific.
Well, and to add on to awesome shows with a pretty killer soundtrack, and find out why I said that, Stargirl is on the CW.
Oh, yeah.
It's definitely a great story about a girl, it's the age-old story. Luke Wilson's a sidekick, finds a new family, has a daughter who gets a cosmic staff, now tries to fight evil. And I bring it up because the most recent episode, near the end, had the Killer's recent track, The Man, playing.
Oh.
So definitely worth watching. That's my watch.
Isn't it amazing that all of these youngsters who suddenly discover they have superpowers, also what comes along with those superpowers is like amazing seamstress skills to just put together these costumes?
Well, it's amazing. And again, this is why home economics is important in high school days.
I mean, it goes all the way back to Peter Parker and Spider-Man, and now with Stargirl. Everybody all of a sudden just knows exactly how to make a perfectly fitting superhero costume.
It's a fantastic skill.
Yeah.
I say I would be great on an apocalypse team because I can make clothing out of nothing.
Oh.
So I'm fantastic to have. When the rest of this all goes down, I'm selling myself for your apocalypse team.
Okay.
So I can make clothing. I'm very domestic.
For the record, when shit really hits the fan, I just need an Immortan Milagro outfit. That's all I ask.
Okay, you got it.
I don't think I bring any skills to the table.
I'll try to forge the fabric. What are you going to do? You just critique everything that everybody does.
Yeah, that'll be useful in the bunker.
Yeah, that's what will help us. You'll get us to the point.
I'll be the first one kicked out of the bunker.
Followed by me, and then I will ride into the highways onto Valhalla.
Well,
you can write the perfect tweet. That's what you can do.
True, I can do that. So we're gonna wrap it.
As long as we don't get shut down. So
yeah, I thought seems like it was like several weeks ago now, but I think it was just on Friday. I thought social media was supposed to be shut down.
Oh yeah,
it's amazing how these things come and go so quickly now.
Yeah, what's next now? Oh wait, it's the walking COVID.
If someone wants to shut Facebook down, I'm good with that. I'm totally fine with that because that's apparently where all the idiots are now.
Remind me again. Is that where most of our listenership is? Just to clarify.
Yeah, there might be a few of them.
All right, for the good. For the good listeners that are still stuck on Facebook, come see us on Twitter at TV10 Podcast. Just switch over. We'll make it work out.
Much better, yeah. So, reach out to us, Twitter, Facebook, Gmail, all TV10 Podcast. Find us on the things and the stuff. And we want to thank Vanessa for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for remembering that I exist.
Oh,
Proof
yeah.
of life. I am still here. My God, I am still here.
And Vanessa, I'm going to ask you, as well as our dozens of listeners, to make sure that you shop local during these troubling times, especially when it comes to our sponsors, Sugar House Distillery. Also, check out Outlaw Distillery and Ogden's Own Distillery, purveyors of Five Wives, Madame Patarini Gin, The Underground, and Porter's Fire. And maybe stop by Midvale and visit Bohemian Brewery. But top it all off by going into downtown Salt Lake, not after curfew, by the way. And please visit Ivy at Boutique.
All those
I
things.
think we covered it all.
I think we did, yeah. So we'll be back next week. We'll see who joins us then. In the meantime, say goodnight, America.
Good night, America.
All right, jiggle that handle, sir. It's time to flush.
There's only me and my TV.